Okay, hi, Mr. Dom Marsden.
Hello, mister.
Again, welcome in Halen.
It's great to be here.
Welcome in the Roostime living room. And let's say that until 2018-19, I can say that you were a rather unknown
Yep.
young artist from North Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And for the bigger world, for the great world, as they say, you're rather unknown. So please, what did I forget, or what must we know to introduce you?
Oh, right. It's all about the music.
It's all about the music.
Yeah, I have a family and I have a wife and two kids at home. But that aside, everything I do is about the music. There's no variation of me without music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Music's life, and it's a life sentence. You know, like a jail term, almost, but in a good way. And I've kind of taken everything in my stride. You know, I've never tried to force it or push it on people. And the people that like the music come to the shows. They're really what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's not about me. It's not about, you know, look at me, I'm great, or money, or I have no visions of grandeur whatsoever. I feel I need to play. I mean, I want to play, you know, but I need to play. It's like a mental illness almost, like an addiction. I cannot turn it off. You know what I mean? I don't walk properly. I don't talk properly unless I've played that instrument. You know,
Until you got your
Yeah,
guitar and
yeah.
you can start singing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, there's pros and cons to it. You know, it's like a curse sometimes because like say at home, if I do a gig in my own city or my own country, I get home at like 2, 3 in the morning, and I live on the top floor of a 3-story building.
Oh,
And I bring all the gear upstairs, the amplifiers and everything. By the time you get upstairs, it's 4 in the morning and you're completely exhausted. You've already played the gig. You could have played 5 gigs in a row by then. And so you sit on the end of your bed, you know, you look at your guitar cases and your brain starts going, open up the case, just play the electric, you know, unplugged. And yeah, you're up till 6, 7 in the morning just playing, just to play, for no
Okay.
other reason, you know. So it is all about the music. I don't really have much else, nor do I want anything else. The only reason I do this is to try and feed and clothe my kids and keep a roof over their head, you know, because I can't do anything else.
but
you know.
the decision that you made to become a singer-songwriter or a musician, it wasn't influenced by your environment or somewhere in the family you had an uncle or somebody who played the music.
My dad played when I was born. My dad held me over a guitar, and I was crying on it and kicking it, scratching it, biting it, you know, all that stuff. So it's been a whole lifelong thing, and I've got absolutely nothing to compare it to, you know. We didn't have anything growing up. We had absolutely nothing. I come from a broken home, poverty. We had no money, we didn't do anything. The only thing we did was play guitar.
Yeah.
That's all we did all night and all day long, you know. So growing up, it's a special kind of childhood, you know. And I don't feel like I missed out on anything. I don't have anything to compare that to, so I did not miss out on anything. I had a great childhood, you know, despite appearances. You know.
When did you start to play for public?
Were
you very young, or were you?
Probably very young. My dad played in pubs and clubs, you know.
And you went with him to?
And I just followed him. I just followed him around. And he inspired me in ways that, like musically, with Rory Gallagher, Bob Dylan, Led Zeppelin, you know, Pink Floyd, and all these guys. He had a really good record collection. And that's all we did. We listened to music and we played music. You know.
You hear it often that period that was very important for
I think so.
beginning musicians. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Your first years, were they heavy or were difficult years when you started on your own and you knew that you wanted to become a singer-songwriter and you knew that you wanted to live from music?
I never really thought about it like that. You know?
No.
It was
You just
yeah, I just did what came naturally. There was no thought pattern in it.
No.
I didn't think about. I don't think about it even today. You know, a lot. I'm just happy to, you know, playing guitar makes me happy. You know, and you know, apart from my family life at home, which makes me happy also, but I've kind of kept them separately in life so far. But the only thing that has made me feel comfortable as a human being and on this planet, and is able to make me function as a human being and a part of society, is that instrument. You know, for better or for worse, I'm definitely addicted to it. Without it, I don't know what I would do.
Okay. When did you start writing your own songs?
Early years, teenager, you know, real young teenager. I was writing songs like the song Addict, which is on the Savage Life album. I wrote that when I was 15, you know. So
And you sing them still, those?
I put that one on the album because I felt it was good enough.
Okay.
Even writing it as a 15-year-old boy, it's all about drug addictions and what I've seen and people I've lost. I mean, all the songs I've written,
things that happens just around you.
Yeah, they're all from personal experience. You know, so yeah.
Is writing songs a difficult task for you? It's a fixed ritual or a process. I don't know.
There's no.
There are no specific moments that you say it's time to.
Spontaneous. You
know? When you have a song, you just write it down or you try it out.
Yeah.
And it keeps in you.
Yeah, what I do now is, you know, everybody's got a phone, you know, and you have voice memos on the phone. You can hit record. Like back in the day, they didn't have that. You know, they had these tape reels and they had to rewind them and record. It was horrible to record things, you know. So for the new album, which is coming out in September, I have 515 voice memos to go through on my phone.
They will help you to.
From that I picked 10, 11 songs from those 515. So I have a lot of stuff to go back to, you know, which is good.
You're just talking about your fifth album, but until now, when I'm well informed, you have one EP, one live album, and almost three studio albums.
Yeah.
Do you still remember your first album?
Not really. I was drinking.
Tried to get the songs together, or what was?
I was on a lot of alcohol. I don't remember an awful lot. I've been sober now for 3 years, you know, so I'm starting to get my memory back. You know, a lot of things I still don't remember. Like every gig I play, I only remember them for a couple of weeks and then they're gone. You know, so my memory isn't great. But I think I'm very fortunate. I mean, I met Fenton and Audrey about 5 years ago, and they really did take me from the gutter. You know, I was really down and out, and I was really drunk all the time, drinking non-stop. And if I had have met me back then, I would have turned my back. You know, because I was a bit of a lost cause. You know, I didn't have a future.
That is.
But they have stuck by me and showed me the world big time. Massively. I owe them an awful lot for that. They showed me the way this world works. You know, for the first time in my life, and it's safe to say that they did save my life. You know, I owe them that.
Great. Your first studio album, it's called Spain to Italy.
Yes.
Why those specific towns? Of what is the relation between, or why the names in the title?
Yeah, when I was about 16, 17 maybe.
You were still on the road going around?
I hadn't left the country yet.
Oh, you have always been in.
I had a vision of getting to Europe, you know, and just busking my way through Europe from Spain to Italy, you know, with a guitar and just making like €15 a day. I thought would cover me, you know. But my dad got really sick, and I ended up being his carer.
When you were in Italy or in Spain?
No, we were all in Ireland. I never
you were.
Oh
yeah. Oh, sorry.
It was just a dream that I wanted to do this trip, you know.
Oh yeah, that's why you called the cities.
My dad got really sick, and I ended up being his carer for 4 years, you know, until he passed away. And when he passed away, the dream kind of died, you know. So that's just a dream album, I guess. Now, the album's for him, basically.
Okay.
It's a very personal album, you know. It was hard for me to write the songs, let alone play them live. And I did, you know, tours of that album. And every time I played those songs, I was transported back to that room, you know. So I don't play them songs anymore. You know?
When we go to your last album, it's for me a strange title, Savage Life.
My second name.
When I try to translate it, because I try to understand what you meant with the title, but
Yeah.
I found some words like rude, brutal, wild. Is that
My
the right translation, or?
my name, yeah, that's the right translation. But my name is Don Martin here, but my real name is Don Savage. That's my name. So my life has been a savage life, you know, for better or for worse. I'm not complaining. I've had a great life, you know. I've had a horrible life. If you read it, it sounds horrible. But I feel like I've, you know, it hasn't. You know, you can't let whatever happens to you define you as a person.
That's your
You know, I'm
life.
still a
You
very
can't
happy person. You know,
yeah.
I'm very positive. I try and stay positive. You know.
Why did you wait so long to sing about it or to
I
put
just
it
never
in
had the
songs? And
opportunity. I never had the opportunity.
you dare not, or you didn't want
I
it?
did not. I just didn't have the opportunity. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any people. Nobody there. You know, I was on my own for a long time. So when I met Fenton and Audrey, they must have seen something in me, and they have pushed me to the point of breaking me. You know, which is what I needed. You know what I mean?
Do you think that you have put in words what you felt in that time?
So.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
And then you have to tell us something about your new album. It's your 5th album.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a big difference between when we go back to the Spain album, the Italy album.
Yeah. That's the thing about the albums, are they're so different. You know, none of them sound. A lot of artists sound very similar. All their albums sound very much the same. I've always kind of strive to be different, you know, and find new ways of creating songs and creating music. And the first 2 albums were very difficult. This album was just such a beautiful experience to record it and get it finished. And it's just from start to finish, I've had such a wonderful time recording that album. Like I finally feel that I did that. You know, the first 2 albums were really hard.
Yeah.
I didn't not necessarily. I didn't not like them, but I find them very difficult.
You have a different,
really
complete
hard.
different feeling when you.
Yeah, this one, the magic was there. You know, I could actually listen to those songs and not hear the mistakes. You know, whereas the other 2 albums, all I heard was the mistakes. You know, and I just left them in. But I'm very happy.
But yeah, you hear them, but.
Well, who knows? Who knows who hears them? You know, I know I did. So, yeah.
Let's say something about your, what we call your awards or your recognition. You got a lot of them the last years. A lot of.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't think about it. It doesn't enter my head at all. I'm very thankful for the people who have listened to my music and the people who come to my gigs. It is all about them, you know, it's not about me. But I've never really looked at it like that. You know, I don't really think.
You're not a guy that is waiting for
it's not,
a recognition.
It's not what it's about.
No,
it's really not. I just love playing music. Music has saved my life. You know, it's been there my entire life, and I've always had the guitar to go back to. And I mean, it's like therapy for me. It's an outlet. It makes me feel better. I don't know how people cope without playing guitar or playing an instrument.
I always think when you get too much, that's not good. I think when you get too much attention. So
yeah, I get that. I get that. A lot of people, it goes to their head a little bit. And they're like, look at me, look at me, look at me.
There he is.
Yeah, I know. I've met a few of them, and there's a lot of delusion, I think, with it. You know. And I don't know, I've kept my both feet on the ground, you know, and I'm happy just being me. And
but there isn't anyone that you maybe want to get when you're older and you look back on your career, you say, that I have missed. No. Okay, just a question. You know the song about the song of Nina Simone, 1970, I think she sung, Young, Gifted and Black. That's an old song.
I don't know this song.
For me, it's when I heard the song, always you're also young, gifted, not black. But I think you must have somewhere a list. People call it a bucket list, things that you want to do.
Bucket list.
Bucket list. Yeah. Do you have a list in mind that you say? In my life,
it'd be
it doesn't have to go about.
It would be a career-ending move to give you my bucket list. It would. It'd be a career-ending move, but no.
Yeah, mostly they do it at that time, but.
But I've never really.
I've always got the feeling young people, they also think in the future.
I have no idea. I can only speak for myself, and I've never written down a bucket list per se, but when I was younger, I always wanted to travel the world, you know, and I've done that now. I've been from Russia to the States, and I've been all over Europe, and I haven't been to Australia, and I haven't been to Asia yet, but I don't really think I need to go there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to go there, but it's a long journey, and I don't think there'd be much music for me to play out
Yes.
there, you know.
But I think we from Rootstime, we are the lucky ones. We can say that you were the first time in Belgium in Halen.
Yeah, I think so.
But
Yeah.
last week I wrote somewhere that this is the first time.
Yeah.
Halen is the first time.
Yeah, it's a lovely part of the world. It is an absolute, and the fact the sun is shining, it makes it so much better.
Yeah.
You know? I come from Ireland. We don't get much sun, you know.
Yeah, it's a nice country.
Yeah, it is.
Nice people, I think. We have been there with it in Dublin once, yes.
Yeah, Dublin's good.
But more plans for the future? You told us something about your album. You already know the name, or no? You wanted to?
Yeah, no, it is. It's called Buried in the Heel, like the weather, you know. Because you know, people can tend to get buried in their own thoughts and their own thought patterns, and it's easy to keep going round and round in circles in your head with, you know, whatever. I have a lot of mental health issues, you know, PTSDs and stuff, exhausted nerves. My nerves are shot, you know. Not that I'm nervous, it's just my actual physical nerves in my body are sore, you know, sometimes, which makes it hard to play guitar. But being buried in the heel is like, a lot of people think that when they hit rock bottom that they're buried, but I think I'm planted and I just need to bloom, you know, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think of reaching the bottom as a bad thing, you know, because the only way's up, really, you know, and we've all been there a few times, I'm sure. So for me, I have never seen a future for myself, ever, until now.
You just live today? No.
I existed for a long time. I wouldn't say that I'd lived, but I certainly existed for a long time, and I never seen a future for myself until this very moment now, you know.
You have been in Portugal, now you're in Belgium for 2 shows, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And then on
and the next weeks
Netherlands,
you go back to...
we have the Rory Festival in the Netherlands on Saturday afternoon, and we go back home on Sunday for 5 days, and then we have a UK tour, a solo tour after that, which is like 28 days, I think.
Okay.
So it'll be a lot of fun. I love the UK. The UK is, well, England has accepted me with open arms, you know, a lot more than my own country ever did, and I've made lifelong friends there. That you know, I never expected that to happen. I just thought you go to a gig and that's it, the end of it. But all the people that come to the gigs in the UK, I've made friends with all of them, more or less, and we all stay in touch. And sometimes we stay in their houses and stuff. Like Dave Frohawk, for example, he has saved us tremendous amount of money because he's let us stay at his house when we're there. You know, so we've met beautiful people, and we've made some beautiful friends along the way. You know, and that's here. What more could you ask for? You know.
You've told us a lot about your music, but is there a life beside music? Do you have a hobby or things that you do? No, just music. Music in the family. Yeah. Okay, have some questions to finish. Being a musician, do you have learned something about you by singing, by being a musician?
Yeah. I mean, I never had an identity. You know, I didn't know who I was for a very long time until music gave me an identity. I'm Don Martin, I'm a musician, you know, and I was like, oh my God, I'm a person. I'm actually a functioning part of society for you know, that feeling that you actually belong to something is, it's immeasurable, I think, for some people. And just to be, you know, here and get to see the world and things like that, it's amazing to be a musician. And it's also very, very difficult because you know, you need people to back you and have money and pay for flights and, you know, hotel rooms and book tours, and it's a really, really hard gig. Some people think that this is like a soft option, like the easy way. Be a musician, it's all easy, and the rock and roll lifestyle.
You play, you drink a beer.
Yeah, and all this stuff. It's not.
No.
It's horrible. It's a horrible job. I love it. I mean, it's a labour of love, really. You have to love it. You have to
love
eat
it,
and
yeah.
sleep it and breathe it, and I feel I have done that for a very long time. For better or for worse, being a musician is probably the most important thing to me. But
Okay.
it's not for, because of other people say, oh, he's a good musician, and you get this big head and all this. It's not that. It's I just love music. I love playing music. It makes me feel better. It does. And without it, I feel awful.
So I can finish with the one request. What is the advice that you would give someone
Advice about
when you meet someone and he's telling you, "Oh, I'm going to be a musician"? What would you say?
Be prepared to be disappointed.
Okay, Dom, thank you for being here and for having some time for us. But thank you again for your time, and
Thank you.
thank you a lot for the beautiful music you made.
Thank you very much. You're
Thank you,
a
Dom.
gentleman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.